So, welcome everyone. This is the family constellation demonstration focusing on unleashing your authentic voice. So, welcome. Thank you for being here and taking the time. And I apologize for my total mix up. Yeah, it was scheduled for Tuesday and my brain had it for Saturday. So, those of you that showed up and was wondering what was going on, yeah, just totally me. Um, So here we are, and just a little bit about myself. I I have a background in education, and I, had a spiritual awakening in the year 2000 after going through a yoga teacher training. I had a Kundalini awakening and was teaching yoga, meditating, and had this, yeah, very kind of disruptive awakening, which then led me to energy healing and just kind of a broader knowing, deeper knowing of the nature of reality and that there's many different dimensions and there's more to us than meets the eye, more to the world than meets the eye. I started following the path of, yeah, energy healing. Like I said, I started out in Reiki and then I studied a healing technique called crystalline consciousness technique for many years, almost 17 years, while I was teaching young children. And about 3 years ago, maybe more now, a little more, that I decided to do family constellations training. I encountered family constellations back in 2011. I had my first constellation, which was really mind blowing and profound. And anyway, so here I am. And I trained with Carolyn Hauser and Yildiz Sethi. And I just love this work. And I think all of you, is there anyone here that has never experienced constellations work at all? And I would, yeah, I didn't think so. And you have never, Amy? This is your first time? Oh, wow. Okay. So, family constellations is very much,
But I do IOPT, which is built on family constellations. So
okay. I've never
yeah.
heard of that. What does that stand for?
Identity-oriented psychotrauma therapy.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you. All right. Wonderful. So you know the basis. I don't have to explain what it is. Okay, good. I'm glad I don't have to. Um, Wonderful. And how many of you can raise your hand? How many of you are family constellations facilitators? Three, four of you? Okay, great. Um, yeah, okay, so are there any questions that anyone has? I was inspired to have this theme because I feel like, um, at least for myself, uh, doing promotion for my business on social media, um, there's a lot of noise. I just want to say there's a lot of noise, and um, staying in connection with your authentic voice can be a challenge, right? When there is people have their opinions and their judgments, and there's comparison going on and whatever, and then we have our own stories. And so yeah, so I'm inspired to just and yeah, and then of course, COVID with a lot of censorship and people not feeling safe to express their opinions and their voice. I feel like at a collective level, there is definitely some much needed healing, you know. So I don't know where this is going to take us or what's going to happen in this constellation, but yeah, I am definitely inspired by the topic. So, that being said, who here would like to receive the constellation? Between Stephanie, Ahalia, Tomek, and Linda. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is we're just gonna do it by lottery. I'm gonna pick a number between 1 and 100. And you guys just type in the chat, pick a number, and I'll let you know who is the closest who gets to receive. Okay. Ahalia says 36. Stephanie 61. Tomek 88. Well, Tomek, you hit it right on the button. So, Linda, it was
Couldn't
88.
find my cursor.
So, Tomek, you get to receive. Beautiful. Okay. So before we get started, let's just dive into a brief meditation so we can create the sacred space. So I invite you to close your eyes. Just take a deep breath and give yourself a moment to arrive into the space, feeling your chair, feeling your feet on the floor, connecting to your breath, connecting to your heart, connecting with the earth. And now just call in your ancestors. If you want to call in specific ones that you resonate with or you are deeply connected with, you can call them in specifically, but just invite your ancestors in to the space. And if you have connection to spirit guides or ascended masters or angels, whatever is a spiritual resource for you, you can call that in as well. And then I'd also like to ask you to connect with the land and call upon the ancestors of the land of wherever you are, even if you're not from the place or born in the place where you are now. Just inviting the ancestors of the land to come into the space as well. And just giving yourself a moment to give thanks for these ancestors and spiritual beings that are here with us now to bring about the highest possible outcome and the healing that is here for all of us. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes. And Tomek, you can unmute and yeah, share with me what is it that you're experiencing around your own voice? What are the symptoms? Maybe the issues, the blocks?
uh, Kind of funny enough, like I've been chatting to someone over this dating app, and then because we're both Polish, right? But because I've been living here for nearly 18 years, Uh, so she asked me, there was a conversation about my voice. Um, and then I don't speak fluently, like I do speak fluently English, but it's not fluent, if
Hmm.
you know what I mean. You can probably hear the way I'm speaking. And it's the same in Poland, right? And the reason is, when I was a child, I was traumatized a lot.
Hmm.
Uh, so I didn't have any right to speak. And there was in my house, there was this rule, uh, fish and children don't speak.
Hmm.
So I, even my emotions, anything was invalidated, was neglected on any probably level. Um, yeah, and I had for some short period of time when I was a child, I Polish
Uh,
letters like double letters.
Sorry, can I ask you to pause? It froze on my end. So if you could rewind to, you said something about when I was a child and then it went blank for
Yeah.
me.
Did I say? Did you hear me saying uh, in my home? They were saying there was a rule: fish and children don't speak. Did you hear that?
I heard that part, and then it was after that it dropped.
Okay, so I had kind of speak therapy
Okay, yeah. Hmm.
because I wasn't able to say certain double letters um, in Polish, like um,
Certain sounds you couldn't make.
certain sounds. Yeah. Um, so because of trauma, I was later shy about speaking as well because I couldn't speak fluently, like properly, without breaking. And when was that? Like this year, my counselor, I actually had to switch counselor because it was English speaking counselor. Actually, she was French. She is French, but she told me probably it's better if you go to a Polish speaking
Mm.
psychotherapist, so maybe your progress wouldn't be uh, slower. So maybe even if you have Polish speaking therapist, it might something unblock, so you could even start speaking English more fluently.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I understood everything, and I think you're speaking pretty well, pretty clearly, just as feedback to you. Um, so what is the outcome that you desire?
Like I'm yoga teacher like yourself,
Mhm.
and my voice is my tool, but I don't have that. We say in Polish like a power of getting through. Either I'm not understood or I can't express. I don't even advertise myself properly. I'm not seen or something. Right? Although my classes can be like fully booked out, right? But certain classes it's like nearly empty, right? There is something, and I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is you want to have a feeling of power with your voice, that when you speak, you're heard clearly and you're received. Yes?
Yeah, even on social media, whatever I'm trying to say, kind of wise words,
Hmm.
uh, I'm not seen, I'm not heard.
Okay, you feel that invisibility. Yes.
Yes, and also then I don't hesitate to say anything. Although I know a lot. I have been doing this work. I mean, working on myself with the shadow for nearly 25 years. But I
Yeah.
hit that wall. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so um, Stephanie, I know you have your camera off. If you want to be, yeah, possibly selected as a rep, let's you can turn your camera on. So so tell me, Tomek, a little, just a little bit about your parents. Are they still married? Are they still alive? What's
they're not alive,
Mhm.
and they got divorced when I was a teenager. My dad left us when I was 13. It
Okay.
was, um, and then my mom was raising us like she was raising us by herself anyway, right? My dad was more an obstacle
Uh-huh.
rather than a help.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then how many siblings did you have?
Hey, I have one sibling who is alive, but she was born after a fire we had, and I was 6. And then because of that fire, I lost younger sister.
Okay.
So that's my real sibling, right? But I have two half sister or like two half siblings, one half sister and one half brother, and they both from my dad's side.
Okay, um, so you had only one full sibling, and that one died. Am I
Mhm.
understanding correctly? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, and then you have two half siblings through.
and then after the when the first sibling died, my sister who is still alive was born.
Oh, okay, and she was born um, through your mother through another father?
No, no, through the same parents.
Oh, same parents. Okay. So, okay, got it. So there, with your mom and your father, there were three of you.
Exactly.
One died. And
Mhm.
the one was born after the death of the one that
Yes.
died. The one that died, was she the oldest or the
No,
youngest?
youngest as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Any other than the trauma that you mentioned that you suffered as a child, is there any other, and the fire you mentioned, is there any other um, significant traumas in the family that you think we need to know?
Like my childhood is one big trauma.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So looking at the people here, so what I would like to do is have a representative for you and actually your voice, because I'm curious to have the voice as its own representation, and then to choose your who to stand in as your parents. So looking at the people here, uh, who do you feel drawn to stand in as yourself? And then you can just ask them if they're willing.
Not sure how you pronounce your first name, but your second name is Thomas.
Oh, Ahalia. Okay.
Ahalia. Okay. Could you represent me, please?
I'd be happy to, Tomek.
All right. So I'm going to rename you.
Because Tomek is for friends and family, but official name for documents and all that stuff is Thomas.
It's Thomas. Okay. So maybe I'll rename it as Thomas. Tomas.
Yes.
And choose someone to represent your voice.
I'm not sure. I'm already feeling something in my throat, the bottom of my throat. So if you could do it for me, please, that'd be great.
Who are you asking?
Now, if you could choose for me, please.
I'm sorry. Oh, you want me to choose for you?
That's
Okay.
very interesting.
Yeah. So you want me to choose for you? Okay. Let's see. Stephanie, would you be willing to stand in as his voice?
Yes.
Okay. And then Tomek, can you choose someone to be your mother?
Catherine, can you be my mother? Or can you represent my mom, please?
Yeah. Is that good? Okay. And then choose someone to be your father.
Um, Jill, could you represent my dad, please?
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Oops. Okay. Um, so Stephanie, is it okay to keep your camera on? Okay. And then the rest that aren't representing right now, if you could turn your cameras off, and then, you might be called on at some point. And okay, so everyone just step into your roles. If you feel like you need to stand up or move to be able to get into the body, but just, yeah, feel into the sensations that are arising. And if you feel moved to share, or ready to share what's happening in your field, you can raise your hand. Father?
I feel like something's around my throat, kind of like, yeah, it just feels like something's around my throat, and I don't want to look at the screen. I don't want to look at anyone there. I want to look off in the distance.
Yeah, what's happening with Thomas's voice?
Yes. So I kind of feels like I'm being like there's something right here. It feels like I'm being choked. And it's almost like the feeling of like when you're screaming, but you can't scream loud enough and for people to hear you. But I definitely feel like it's being like walked, stifled.
Mhm.
But there's like an urge that like he wants to.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. Thomas's rep?
Um, yeah, I'm feeling like sort of like a draining of life force energy in my head and my torso, and like all of the energy is in my extremities. Like my hands feel really heavy, and my legs and feet feel activated. Like all the energy in my body is in my hands and feet.
Mhm. What's happening for Thomas's mom?
I feel much. I see. I it's pretty dark around me. Um, um, life is that's life.
Mm, mm,
Mm. I like to close my eyes.
mhm.
It's hard for them to stay open.
What happens for Thomas when he looks at Father?
Oh, there's a feeling of fear and longing.
So, can you say to him, Father, when I look at you, I feel fear and longing? Speak to him directly.
Father, when I look at you, I feel fear and longing.
Yeah, Father.
I can hear that, but like I have some really intense, like my eyeballs feel like they're really wide open and they're really looking at something, and there's an intensity about it, and it's taking all my attention. So I could hear it, but I couldn't
Hmm.
take it in very well.
Okay. So there's something that you're looking at that's got your
Yeah.
attention. What happens for Thomas when he looks at Mom?
There's like a connection, kind of like almost like a trauma bond. Is what it feels like. Like there's a bond, but there's a lot of fear wrapped up in it. Like we're in that fear together.
Hmm. And when you look at your own voice, what comes up?
It's hard to differentiate the voice from the background, the purple galactic spiral mandala. It's definitely influencing my perception. Um, and oh, thank you. Um, yeah, I'm not really getting a sense.
Mhm,
Um, it's not feeling connected. I don't feel connected to the voice.
mhm. Yeah, Thomas's mom.
There is no room for that voice. Now it seems to fit in the darkness without the background, but before that, it was too abstract, too crazy what it was saying. It was, there was no room for that. Now it dimmed down and it's fits better.
Mm. Okay, I feel that I need to bring in whatever it is that Father is fixated on. Um, so Maybe Diana, would you be willing to stand in as this unknown?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, what's coming through is unknown.
Um, I have a sense of feeling very big, feeling huge, and like I take over the father, the father. I can see only the father I can see, and I'm very huge. Like I am the only one that matters here. Like I'm very important. I don't know, but I can see only the father. The other one, they are somewhere in the background. I can see them, but not much. My connection is with the father.
What is the father feeling?
I am. I was looking at her and feeling small and sad, and then I started to not even be able to focus. That's where I'm looking, but I can't like focus so well, and I just feel, yeah, small and sad is the main, and like belonging, I guess.
Tomek, can I ask you, did you, I'm wondering if this is your father's father?
Yeah, I think so because my first constellation was about my dad, and
Whew.
my grandpa, his dad, like holy shit, like just kind of pure evil,
Mm.
darkness. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I've never met grandpa, grandfather.
Hmm. Yeah, that was my sense that. So I'm gonna just rename. Um,
Yeah, I can feel it of him in my belly.
yeah. Did you have your hand up, Father? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me sad to hear anyone call my dad evil because I love him. Like, I'm scared and small with him, but I love him, so I don't think he's evil.
Yeah, Thomas's mom.
I- I'm very happy. And when grandfather came in, or the unknown before, I feel very attracted to him, and makes me very happy. He's a light in the life.
Hmm. Yeah, Thomas.
I felt much more connected when grandfather came in. Like there was, it's important to have that named and that energy like in the in the network. It feels like that's solid. I feel much more like I know my place and more connected.
What's happening with grandfather? I notice you're holding your throat.
I just have suddenly like a lot of cough. like a lot of cough. But I have like a warm feeling on the back, and I still feel very big. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I feel a sense of love, and I'm just happy to be here. And my throat is very is very tight. Just need to drink some I barley. And I didn't have no cough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my kids, they just got in. I don't know if he's any.
Can I play gaming?
Yes. Yes. They just pop out now. And yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Father.
I just want to say to my dad, please, please, I need you.
I'm here for you. I've always been. And I always love you, even if I didn't know how to show I love you. But from above, I am always here for you, always watching over you, and all over all of you. Thomas, I am here for you too. Now I can see everybody on the screen.
Linda, can I have you stand in as the ancestors of the father's line?
Um, I'd like to know that Tomix agrees because I know a little bit about Tomic.
Oh, you do? Okay. Tomek, is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Well, I should say
I-
grand ancestors.
I'm the ancestors on the father's side, did you say?
Yeah, so grandfather's ancestors.
My head is exploding with sadness. I've become very emotional. And it's hard to breathe. I have pains in my chest. It's very hard to breathe.
Tomek, your ancestors, where did they, your grandfather's ancestors, that lineage, what part of the world are they from?
Like Poland,
Yeah.
I guess. Probably Poland. So south of Poland, and then that part was occupied by, like in 19th century, by uh, Austrian and Hungarian. That was so that maybe there might probably loads of, not probably, but loads of fights and rising, all that stuff.
Hmm.
My grandpa was probably born around First World War.
Yeah. How does grandfather feel when he looks at the ancestors?
I don't know how I feel. It's just like not really connected, but a lot of cough and chest pain when they start talk.
So can you take,
I don't really feel connected at all.
yeah. Try this, grandfather, and see if it does anything, but to just whatever this is that's causing you to cough and so forth, just with your hands, just literally put it in your hands and see if you can give it back to the ancestors and just say this, you know, this belongs to you. I can't carry this.
Um,
If it feels,
ancestor, uh, this belongs to you. I give it back to you. I leave it with you. I totally disconnect and I give it to you now. Please accept it.
yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, that was a big shift. I felt like before that just happened, I felt like there was all this energy it was like the whole lineage was top heavy. There was like all the energy was in the top of the line. And now I feel like much like something just flooded back to me. Like I've been like filled or it's something streaming in, like warmth all
Uh-huh.
over my body.
Grandfather, can you say to the ancestors, I honor you as my ancestors?
I honor you as my ancestors,
Yeah, and I give this, but I give this back to you.
but I give this back to you.
What does grandfather's ancestors want to say? What's happening?
Yes, it does belong to us. We also didn't have a voice, and
Hmm.
it was hard, but we don't want you to have it.
Oh,
And then, Amy, can I have you? Are you willing to stand in as the light? Yeah. I'd like the ancestors just turn and face the light. How does the light feel? What do you sense?
There's sort of just a benevolence towards everyone. I'm just looking around and feel compassion to everyone.
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, that was also a powerful shift to bring in the light and have the ancestors turn toward the light. It feels like an open channel, um, like there's a connection, like the energy streaming through, and it's not getting clogged up. It's just streaming and then grounding into the earth,
Mm.
just like a continuous, unbroken stream.
Tomek, you want to share what's coming up for you? I'm noticing you.
Yeah, like feels really good. Like first, like from very beginning, I felt like frozen, cold kind of collar around my neck at the bottom here, and I'm very, very heavy, like pushing me down. But now I feel like light from my throat chakra down to my heart, like soft and beautiful.
Mm.
Lots of going on here between the throat and my heart.
Mhm. How do the ancestors feel now with the light being there?
It became a little bit easier to breathe when I looked at the light. I need a lot of looking at the light
Yeah.
and the descendants.
Mhm.
It's been very tough.
Can Father look at Thomas now?
Yes. When Thomas spoke a couple times ago, I started to be able to look at him and see him now. I still am drawn to my father, and feel like I'm like gaining strength and taking from my father, but I am able to see Thomas now. I can see you now, son. I couldn't see you before.
So, Thomas, can you say, let that land first?
Yeah, that does land. I can feel that, like really bringing energy into my body, into my torso, and it feels like strength. It feels like strength in my chest, in my back, in my arms, my neck.
Can you say to him, thank you for seeing me now? I, um, I've always needed you.
Thank you for seeing me now. I've always needed you.
Anything else?
I feel like I doubled in size. Like I was small and now I'm big. I'm just the same size as father.
To tell him I honor you as my father.
I honor you as my father.
Thank you for giving me life.
Thank you for giving me life.
Yeah, grandfather's father. Or sorry, Chris.
Um, when Thomas' father, they talk one with each other, I feel a lot of energy shifting within the body, but I feel like fresh breath of air every time when they speak one with each other. Like life force take over and it's like fresh breath of air. Like finally I breathe. Finally I breathe.
Beautiful.
Thank you to both of you.
Curious what's happening with Thomas's voice.
So I just had the urge to like whistle, and but when I was whistling, like nothing was really coming out. It was just like blowing air. But as things were bringing in more people, there was waves of like anger and rage. I was pressing my jaw, like frustration, like I wanted to be heard, but I I was like it was like I was being blocked or I wasn't being heard. And there was also times where like it just felt so overwhelming, like everything, like so much swirling above the head, like and um almost like it was really intense. And then now I feel like there there was some clearing also in the throat, a little bit more relaxed in the body. Um,
Mm-hmm. I'm curious about Thomas's mom and Thomas and Thomas's voice. This the feeling of this is just how life is, and we're bonded together through our fear. Um,
I had a similar experience like voice, or now I feel very clear, but when ancestors came in, it was very intense. I got lightheaded and cold, and but with giving back, um, it all lifted, and now I can see Thomas. I can, um, everything is clear, more clear than before. It was dark. Now everything has more meaning.
when you look at Thomas, is there any words that want to be said? Or even to Thomas's voice?
I can hear you now. And
It cut out. You said, I can hear you now, or I can hear you now, and I can see you now. Was there anything after that?
speak your voice. Now you are old enough.
Yeah, Thomas's voice. You had your hand up.
feel like it's a lot clearer. And with the mother, I feel safe now to share my feelings. And I felt like it's like heart connection now.
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, I feel like there's this very balanced triad between me and mom and voice, like where it feels healthy, like a healthy balance. And right, before mom just made those statements, I almost wanted to just like leave her behind. But then when she made those statements, I felt connected and supported and like stabilized with this triad.
Safe now to speak up.
And it's so good to hear the voice speaking, feel connected, integrated, and partnering with the voice.
Yeah, so speak to voice and just say, I am Thomas, and you are my voice.
I am Thomas, and you are my voice.
I am connected to you.
I am connected to you. You are part of me.
Maybe say to the voice, in the past you didn't have space, but you have space now.
In the past, you didn't have space, but you have space now, and we are supporting each other. We're connected and we work together.
Maybe even say, if it feels true, it's safe now to speak.
It's safe now to speak. I'm strong enough for you to speak through me. And we are stronger together.
How does voice feel?
So as she was saying it, I felt like the voice was like being aligned back to like and being like claimed back to Thomas. And for the voice, it just felt so good to like kind of like being claimed and like being put into that power. And then like almost wanted to do like emotional tears just like because it felt so good to finally like kind of have a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the voice, there's a lot in the past the voice wants to process.
Mm.
But I also feel like the voice feels like is courageous now and feels like um it can speak it and be authentic and tell people how it truly feels.
Feel free to raise your hand if you're feeling a movement within your own field. You can unmute. Yeah, grandfather. We'll go around.
Every time when Thomas voice or speak, I just spit up out a lot. That's why I go back and forth on the bathroom. It's just a lot of movement, and I need to go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So yes.
The light.
I get such a fuzzy head with all of this, and it's like I don't really believe it.
Hmm.
It doesn't seem real to me.
Hmm. Is there something that you want to say to anyone specific or? No.
No, just because I don't want to cause any harm, and I don't want to. But it's like I'm holding a lot, and some things aren't being spoken that need to be spoken before it can uh,
Mm.
go, before things can go. Because it's like, oh, we can do this, and then but
Mm-hmm. Something missing.
truths, it's like a true, yeah, truths and real pain needs to be spoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thomas's voice.
When she said that, I kind of was getting that maybe it might be a good idea to bring in the sister that passed away.
Mm. Father?
I've been feeling since mom started talking, like it's harder for me to connect to Tomas, like she's a little bit in the way of me being connected to Tomas. Like I was able to look at her and listen to her, but I was sort of annoyed, and now I check out more. I look to my father to get some energy, but it's harder again for me to connect to Tomas.
And then grandfather's ancestors?
I can breathe a bit easier as we progress, but I'm fascinated by what the light said,
Mm-hmm.
is that the truth isn't quite clearly out yet.
Okay, are you willing, Linda, to also stand in as the daughter that died, the sibling?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Thomas's mom, you want to say something?
I wanted to say that I had to keep you safe, and you couldn't speak the time was very difficult.
Tomek?
I don't know what's been said while I was away, but resonated what the light was speaking, that something has to be said. Like that's what I've been feeling a lot. Just
Hmm.
wanted to shout, still want to shout at my dad. I mean, especially when he said that he's, he he felt sorry that I called his dad evil, and that wasn't true. And I wanted to say like, I wanted to say, are you blind? Do you not? Did you not remember what he did to you and all that stuff?
Hmm. Father?
Uh, my reaction to that is that what's between me and my father is mine and my father's. And I love my father.
Thomas, what happens when you speak the truth to your father and just saying to him, you you brutalized me? And that's the
You,
yeah.
you, you brutalized me.
I'm taking that in. I hear that. I want to take responsibility for that.
What happens if Thomas also says, you left us?
You left us.
Yes. So I was looking somewhere else.
I'm feeling a lot of heat in my belly, like burning, burning heat in my belly.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, I also got my face got hot, and but I feel very, very peaceful when Thomas said that to his father. It was everything became quiet and very relieving, releasing. I'm relieved now.
What happens when Thomas looks at his dead sibling?
it feels like this like open portal where the energy is just flowing out. Like a draining energy, and it's just flowing out.
How does the dead sibling feel?
I'm okay about passing, but I feel guilty for leaving Thomas, and I feel he needs more support.
So maybe try this sentence to say to him, it was my destiny to die, and please carry me in your heart.
It was my destiny to die. Please carry me in your heart.
Yeah, Tomek?
Uh, I'm burning. I'm burning inside. I'm burning outside. I could lead the fire now easily. I don't. It's a little bit cold in my room, but I don't need any heater. That's how I'm hot, right? But I would love to see grandfather's ancestors, that sibling, a little bit more because I can see only head, your head. So you turn the camera more down, please.
Mm.
Oh, much better. Thank you. And maybe Thomas' voice, if you could turn your, I think it's a phone horizontal, so you could have more space because on my screen it's still squeezed, if that's possible.
Does that make sense, Stephanie, to turn the camera if you can? If that's possible. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Let me try.
wow.
Oh,
Hey, where are you?
It's
Let me
vertical.
try something.
Let's see if she can.
Better?
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Now I can feel it. Thank you.
Mm. Okay. Can Thomas say to his mother, I give you back your pain. It's not momentary.
I give you back your pain. It's not mine to carry.
Maybe if you could say, I have my own losses and you have your own. Were you able to hear that? I don't know if my connection. Uh, could you say to mother, uh, I have my own losses and you have yours? They're not the same.
Mother, I have my own losses and you have yours, and they are not the same.
Yes, I can grieve now.
I feel like this energy in my spine, like my spine has become straighter and stronger, and I feel more individuated from mom. Um, like the I feel stronger and more solid in myself.
How do you feel towards Father?
I feel like I want to move on and build my own life and um, resolve the past, but um, move on with my life and take my energy for myself.
Mhm. What happens when you say to Father, I was supposed to be the little one and you were supposed to be the big one?
I was supposed to be the little one and you were supposed to be the big one.
I was supposed to take and you were supposed to give.
I was supposed to take and you were supposed to give.
What's happening with Father?
Um, I feel like I'm taking from my father now, and so I can give now. And I feel like I had to leave to not hurt anyone anymore. But I am the big one, and you are the small one, and I can see you so much better when you're not tangled with your mother. Like when that happened, then I can see Thomas's mom, my wife, or and our other child.
Yeah, Tomek?
After what my father said, I just wanted to say I was scared of you.
Mhm. Yeah, Father.
And to that, I feel like, yeah, like I wasn't really me. Like, like I was kind of like this lost shell. Like I didn't have what I needed, so I couldn't give to you. And now I'm getting what I need to grow up and be your father.
You say to Thomas, leave the past with me.
Leave the past with me, Thomas.
You have your life to live now.
You have your life to live now.
Leave my own anger with me.
Leave my anger with me.
There is a lot of fear in the ancestors and family going back.
Can Thomas wipe down, and Tomek as well, like wipe down your body and just give back that the anger, the confusion?
Yeah, when Father just took responsibility, that felt amazing, like so right and good.
You give it back, and Father, if you could put your hands out as well to take it back. Let's see if there's movement. Looks like Father could turn and give the anger also back to Grandfather. This anger, this fear. Yeah, what's happening with Grandfather?
Just overwhelmed right now. Just want to give back as well. I have a lot of headache. When the father and Thomas start to speak, I just start to cry. Just want to take from here, from the head, the pain on the head. Give back to my ancestors I carry.
Can you say to the ancestors, this is what was?
Oh, this this is what was. I give back to you.
I take it back. All of it.
Ooh,
What's happening with the light?
Um, I felt a lot more alive and energized when Tomek spoke himself. Um, and everything else just sends me kind of fuzzy into sleep.
Father?
I became aware of Thomas's mom and the gratitude that I have. Thank you for taking care of Thomas when I couldn't.
Yeah, light.
my heart really hurts about that. It's like I don't feel that's true, that she did take care.
Yeah, Tomek?
Uh, like the light speaks the truth because she didn't really. She was looking after her focus mostly was on my other sister, and then the year gap between us is 7 years.
Hmm.
So I felt abandoned by her. I was on my own.
I wonder if Thomas's voice, if you could look to the parents and speak what's true as Thomas's voice.
I feel like my mom did the best that she could um, with the circumstances that we were going through. Um, and now I know she couldn't deal with the things that happened.
Would it feel true to say that it wasn't enough for me?
Mom wasn't enough for me.
I did the best I could.
You know, but I still felt alone.
Can mother can mother apologize? Can she say sorry that I couldn't give you what you needed?
Sorry, I couldn't give you what you needed. The pain was too big.
Yeah, Thomas?
Yeah, to hear my mother take responsibility and apologize feels really good, feels stabilizing, like the energy is balanced to where it should be.
Can Thomas's voice say my rage and anger is valid?
My rage and anger is valid.
And I speak the truth of what really happened.
I speak the truth of what really happened.
I leave your dysfunction with you.
I leave your dysfunction with you.
And I am a powerful force.
And I am a powerful force.
I take back my power.
I take back my power.
I take back my dignity.
I take back my dignity.
And I acknowledge that you are my parents.
I acknowledge that you are my parents.
And you gave me this life.
And you gave me this life.
And I no longer choose
I no longer choose
to accept abuse or fear.
to accept abuse or fear.
I stand in my own truth.
I stand in my own truth.
I know my own truth.
I know my own truth.
The light, anything you want to say?
I really like the part about I know my own truth. Uh, and it's just that my heart really hurts still, and it feels like it's going to take some time. And I really like silence.
Maybe the light can say to Thomas and Thomas's voice that it's okay for things to take time. If that feels true, something to that effect.
I just saw Thomas take his mic off mute, and I want
Oh, yeah.
to hear what he has to say.
It wasn't me. If that I,
Comic?
Right, Tomek.
oh, okay.
Yeah, my dog was making some noise.
Mhm.
So who's saying what?
I was asked to say something, but I'm just sort of looking at Tomic with love.
Say hello.
This takes time. It's okay. This takes time.
There's a sense for me in observing this that as Thomas's voice continues to speak his truth, it'll just get stronger with time. Yeah, Thomas?
Yeah, I feel like all of my energy centers are online. Like I'm fully activated my in a balanced way. Nothing is too strong. But that I'm um like present in my whole body.
Yeah. Is there anything else that anyone else wants to say before we close out? Yeah, Tomek?
I don't know what just happened. I felt in my chest like clear, clean, and lots of capacity and space. Definitely something shifted. And now I feel warmth uh, and light,
Untied. Mm-hmm.
light,
Light.
light. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I
yeah,
also
I got my voice back or power back, everything, life back.
feel a big shift of the physical symptoms that I was holding, and like Tomac, lighter, can breathe.
Yeah. Breathe.
Yeah, grandfather?
I feel peace. I am at peace, or we are at peace. I don't know. I just feel a peace was heavy.
Yeah.
Was heavy what I was carrying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's no other anything else that anybody else needs to say or share, we'll go ahead and Tomek, if you could go around and release everyone from their roles.
Uh,
And if you can't remember their names, you can just say, I take back Thomas's voice, etc.
so I start just from this side, because the closest. So Father, I release you from your role. Thank you Thomas, Mom, I release you from your role. Thank you. Thomas, I release you from your role. Thank you. Thomas, voice, I release you from your role. Thank you. Grandfather, I release you from your role. Thank you. Grandfather's ancestors, the sibling, I release you from your role. Thank you. The light, I release you from your role. Thank you. I'm very grateful, all of you, for all this help. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Beautiful. Diana, did I get your name right? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, do whatever you need to do if you need to shake or yeah. Move your body. Okay, so we have a few minutes to just give some time to share. Tomek, if you feel like you don't want to be in on the feedback or whatever of the experience because it just feels, I don't want us to say raw or vulnerable, or you just want to keep this process within you right now, you can feel free to just leave the meeting, or if you want to stay and hear everyone's feedback, that's up to you. I'll leave
Yeah,
that.
I'm happy to hear the feedback.
Okay. So, yeah, this was really interesting for me, especially as the light, what for me, what I just to observe the light just saying, nope, too easy. Something here, not gonna let you go, so not gonna let you overlook something. Um, and and this is just my own reflection. It may not be true for you, Tomek, but I feel like when it comes to expressing one's authentic voice, especially if for those that are highly empathic, who are sensitive, who tend to be the kinder, more gentler souls, that sometimes we can get caught in the trap of thinking that because the world around us can feel so much louder, and that people with big egos or whatever seem to take up the space and whatnot, and we can get overlooked, that we lose our authenticity when we feel like we have to be louder and I don't know, more there's a disconnect there. So for me, in observing this, it was like a reminder of that to be connected authentically to your voice and to be powerful doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be louder or boastful or grandiose. Sometimes just, when the light said it's going to take some time, I just had this feeling of like, you know, the truth is enough, however it's spoken, however gently it is put out there. Uh, yeah. Anyway, that's what I was feeling in observing this. So I'll just open up to everyone else what they want to share as far as playing the roles, or yeah, what kind of insights they're walking away with.
I agree what you just said. Sorry, Linda.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say in English? Confidence is quiet. It's the opposite. Cockiness is loud, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's enough to carry the light of who you are, who you truly are. It's loud enough. You don't have to shout. Oh, look at me, look at me.
Yeah. Linda?
I don't even remember when, but recently I was in another constellation and I noticed how nothing is an island. It's all interconnected to our ancestors. And I was just thinking recently of my own inability to articulate uh, what I'm up to. And someone did post in one of the Facebook things that, our intuitional voice is small and that bravado that we see some people with is loud, and wondering why I can't be loud. But one of the things that came to me was in this last week to talk to the ancestors a little bit more, maybe have a little prayer of sorts, asking for their support and recognizing that it's not just happening to me, but it's happened also to them.
Mm. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Katrine?
Regarding your question, what was like the experience or like during the role uh, or in general? So I don't know how old you are, Tomek, but for my part, I grew up in former East Germany, which was partly communist country, and it was close to Poland. And so often when, like at that time, it's like from the political situation, voices get suppressed, and even parents, between parents and children, there was not, you couldn't talk about everything, so the children don't maybe talk about things in kindergarten or school. So I think so this reminded me at things I observed on myself regarding the voice and the expression, and just from that time, and maybe from the collective situation, it's maybe a little harder to express just because of that experience too. So it just came back to me while I was in that role. So I wanted to share.
Thank you.
I'm 46 and I grew up in a communist regime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can relate.
Stephanie, did you want to share?
I could relate to a lot of what kind of like what he was feeling and like the voice and like feeling like being afraid to use the voice, I guess. And then the anger and the rage of not being able to use your voice. And then I was also getting to like when you said like it's something that he has to practice, I was getting that too. Like he's gonna have to, it's gonna feel different and something new to him, but the more he does it, the better it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else?
Thanks for the opportunity to participate. It was interesting.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks for being here and holding that role. Yeah, so beautiful. I think, yeah, Stephanie, I think I'd have to agree. I think the authentic voice is, it's almost like, um, baby steps. If it hasn't been expressed for some time, it can be definitely challenging. And I think too, I think that Tomek, you being a non-native English speaker, having to use English as a second language, which I totally understand that there's a lack of fluidity. I lived in Spain, and that was always a challenge for me to speak Spanish, to be able to actually have that fluidity of expressing all the subtleties and the nuances of emotion, or thoughts and things like that. Um, I think that if there's a kind of a deep acceptance of that's how that it takes you maybe a little longer or more time to really express uh, yourself with your words, um, perhaps that will remove this feeling of that it's not enough or it's not good enough, but rather than just fully embracing, well, this is how I speak in English, and this is how I operate. I accept it, and I don't know if that resonates or lands, but I often
Yes,
think, yeah, yeah,
I understand what you're saying. I think it comes from the way I speak Polish, because
I see,
it's very similar.
yeah,
That's why my previous counselor said, like, maybe if you release something or you process something in your native language, you'll be able to speak English more fluently.
mm-hmm.
And as um, you know, in this work, the healing sentences have to be spoken in native language. So because how we grow up, when we learn the first language from our parents, so everything gets so deep in the subconsciousness.
Right.
And I've done also, ayahuasca. And last year, the medicine was telling me, speak Polish. And I was speaking back in English, and then the medicine, no, you have to speak Polish. I understand what you're saying. You have to speak Polish. Speak your mother language.
Mm. I'm curious, have you ever done constellations with just Polish speakers before? No,
Not yet.
not yet. I wonder if there would be a way for you to find those people and to have an entire constellation done in your native language, how that would impact. Could be.
Interesting. I've never thought about it.
Yeah, I would seek it out. Just look for Polish speakers who do family constellations and see.
I know one, but she lives in London and she runs all the constellations in English. But
Mm,
maybe there is someone in Poland who does online stuff, so I
mhm.
do
Yeah,
it.
worth investigating.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome. Stephanie?
Yeah, so when we were in the constellation too, I was getting like I wanted to tone and hum. So that might be helpful for him just to like get so I feel like he he's not really comfortable with his voice. So that might help him activate his voice and become more comfortable with his voice.
Do what? Sorry, I couldn't hear. Hop?
Toning. If you just like look up toning, like it's just making noise.
Making sounds. It's interesting you said that, Stephanie, because I was feeling the same thing. I was wondering that the voice just wants to go, like whatever, just to open the throat and just to make whatever sounds want to come out without restriction of language, just making the noises. Yeah.
And even humming like
Maybe go singing, join a choir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, well let's close out and we'll close the circle with again another short meditation. And so closing your eyes and just again to take a moment to visualize the ancestors that were here, spirit guides, beings, and just giving thanks to their support in holding this space. Maybe just see yourself bowing down to them. And just giving thanks. Okay. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And thank you all so much for being a part of this constellation space, for your time, your energy. Um, and yeah, thank you for connecting. So have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'm sure we'll cross paths again sometime soon.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Tanya.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
Tanya.
bye,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.